Hey guys, Mustache here. Fourth time I'm filming this thing, probably fifth. I lost the footage on the first one. Mike didn't record the sound on the second one. So let's do this again. So, this being said, this is something I'm calling the R2 project, where I take a stock Galaxy's Edge Droid Depot R2, repaint him into the R2Q5 droid that was on the Death Star. As you can see, this is the body already done. I have some of the footage going through everything I've done as well, so you'll see that next. I'm a really big fan of Tested, and I'm always watching their stuff, so hopefully, this should have the kind of the same feel of some of the stuff I'm going over, and then I'll probably do some voiceover work on some of the points of the footage as well. So with it being said, this guy's done. This is the body, as well as we detailed the head a bit as well. I'll go over some of my supplies. So like I said, the R2 is the Galaxy's Edge Droid Depot R2. So we have the head here. This is an unpainted head. Then we have the legs, unpainted legs. And then the middle leg. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint the middle leg or not. I most likely will, because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I will be doing this most likely. So as far as my supplies, what I'm using are... So for my black, I'm using the Tester's spray enamel. Let me see if I can get that zoomed in for you. The Tester's spray enamel here. This is a gloss black. For my metallic silver base coat, I'm using Diamond Dust Extreme Lacquer. For my gloss coat, I'm using the Acryl Modern Master Gloss Clear. And then for my copper look, I'm using the Handmade Modern acrylic paint. This is from Target. I did pick up something else that they suggested would work at Hobby Lobby, which was this brown Sharpie, but it did not work. I did end up using it for some of the top section of the dome here, like some of the detail, but ended up just going over it with the Handmade Modern. And then I also have this Tamiya Weathering Master set here. This is the C, which has the gunmetal, orange rust, and silver. I have not put this on yet, just because I know if you use a top coat, you can't use it with this, because this is like a dust. For my thinner, I'm using the Tamiya X20A thinner for acrylic, because the only thing I'm really thinning out is this and my clear coat. So now you've seen the supplies of what I'm using. There's also a remote that actually goes with him as well. I will be probably painting this as well. This one I'm probably going to do a full black with the copper on the buttons here and leave the clear buttons clear. I think that should look pretty cool. And that's about it. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing something like this. You'll see in the footage how organized I am compared to normally, or I'll mention it. So hopefully you like the video. Okay, so it's the next day. The underdome has been finished drying. I let it dry for quite a bit, but I really want to get into this. The black portion is also dry. I've just sprayed that with some clear coat before I do the bronze on there. I'm going to have to play with the bronze just because I don't know the thinning ratio for my thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and detail up this part and get into everything else. So here we are trying to start to detail the underdome. One thing I will say is, like I said, I did a lot of detail work that I lost the footage of, like I mentioned in the intro video. And I'll probably end up speeding a lot of this kind of detailing up part. I used the Sharpie at the beginning, but the same reason, like when I tried to use it on the body, it ended up rubbing off every time I went over it for like a second coat. So that's why I ended up changing over. One thing I forgot to mention too is the color I'm using for that touch of modern, or handmade modern, is the metallic new penny. So if you're trying to get the same effect, and like I said, I did end up thinning it out and getting it through my airbrush as well, so it came out pretty good. So I've added some detail parts to under the dome. Sorry, I'm recording this like upside down a little bit. So I've added some detail parts to under the dome. The red, some gold, as well as a little bit of green, and this rust orange. Like I said, I don't want to. I do want to just go to town on this, but at the same time, nobody is going to see this under the dome since it's not see-through. I would love to do something like this on one of the see-through domes, if possible later. But as you can see, you know, the detail does look nice. Gives it a little bit of pop. I used this D&D paint here. This one is Rust. So this is Rust Monster. And then I'm also using this Dragonfire Red for the red detail. And then, like I said, also you ended up using the new penny that I had that I'm going to end up airbrushing as well for the copper detail at the very top. So overall, I think it looks really good. So I think I'm done with this. So this can now sit until the rest of the project is done, or at least until the body's done, and I can reattach. Here is the almost finished back. I just have to peel off this tape here to reveal the copper. Hopefully when I do that, none of it peels off or anything. So I'll go ahead and try to do that right now. Hopefully I can stay in focus here, or in the camera view. Looking for my knife. Yeah, it looks like my tape wasn't necessarily in the best position for everything. So as you can see, there's a lot of that the silver at the edge. So maybe I'll either try to do like a black panel line to get that out, or, which is a little more tricky, I could try to just remask and paint a little more black. The only thing with that is that if I do that, then I might end up doing more damage than fixing anything. But then again, I could also say, you know, this is the back, so I kind of get another chance at the front, get that one right, and then leave this one be. But overall, I really love the shine that's on there. I do have to do a copper section on here, or not on here, but on the other piece where the battery compartment is, the battery door, actually. So we can peel this off. And boom, there you go. You can actually already tell like the difference between the gloss, metallic, and just the regular battery compartment color, which I think is great. So that's a good contrast, and because you won't see this when the door is on, so that'll look really cool when it's all together. Here's that battery compartment door that I was talking about. So we'll go ahead and peel this. I know it's going to peel up the copper that I did under it in the Sharpie, which is fine, but it'll at least give me a taste of how that looks under there. And these battery holes kind of help a lot. Yeah, so you can see I tried to hand paint some of that detail, and it definitely didn't take. So in the next step with me airbrushing it, it should be a little better. I'll get that airbrush on, and it'll definitely give me a better stick, and then I'll be able to throw on the sealer and all that too. Like, look at that. But going with that, you know, that still looks pretty good, even though that's not the finished product. So I can go ahead and mask off the surrounding area and then throw the copper on there. And all that'll be copper too, so that'll look really nice. Alright, so now that I've got this taped, pretty much the whole night / day of taping the insides and these little parts here. And then if you look down there, also have parts down there too. I don't know if my camera will zoom in on it. Boom, I have those parts there ready to get painted as well. So once I paint these, majority of these will be done. Just the ones with the tape. These will be done. These will have to get the copper on there. This I have to add copper to, and that'll be done for majority of the body work. So I have a lot of the stuff painted now. I'm gonna have to throw another gloss coat on the body. Here's the body. Compared to my other, like my back shell, this one looks extremely matte. You can see the gloss on like this side, but once it gets to the middle, it turns more matte, which I don't want. So I'm gonna peel off some of the plastic that I can. Try to throw another gloss after I do the copper, and see how that looks. Hopefully it looks a lot better. And then, you know, some of these pieces are already finished. So like, this one looks super gloss, which is good. Same thing with this one. Same thing with these side panels. Ooh. Same thing with these side panels here. Those look super glossy. So I'm thinking maybe I just was running out of the clear coat while I was doing that. Here are my side panels. This will get peeled off for the copper. So that'll stay. This one will get peeled off for the copper. Both of these are finished. They have a silver piece under there. So this could actually go on once I finish the front. This will get peeled off for the copper. And then this one's actually done. So we're almost there. I've got the copper part of the front here all painted up. Also did the other pieces as well, like the little front pieces here, as well as the one copper door that is going to go on there as well. So all of that is been drying. Let dry a little bit more. This one's pretty dry already. But I'm going to go ahead and spray some clear coat onto this, and then protect that, peel everything off, probably do another thing of the clear gloss coat, try to get this, looking a little more shiny, and then that'll be it for the body, I want to say, and then we move on to the legs. I'll go ahead and get everything reconstructed after I do all this, and then it'll be back together. Boom, so here it is. Untaped. I fixed some of the bad kind of bleed through on some of the black, or where it was taped and it wasn't getting the tape or getting the paint through. And I know I got a little bit in some panels, which I think will be okay. I'm gonna try to detail up some of these areas here, and then go ahead another clear coat, try to make that a little shinier. And then we are good to go. I'm loving the way this looks compared to how it looked before. Wow. So here you can see I'm starting to reassemble the electronics on the inside. So first off, we have the headpiece. I did show this off in some of the footage that I lost, how I actually was taking it apart and stuff like that. I love that my little Duracell screwdriver kind of matches the body. So everything here, I made sure to keep organized. I had tapes that said, left leg, right leg, and you'll kind of see that later in the time lapse. As well as the order of operations I tried to keep. That was one thing I was mad about that I lost during the footage. And you'll even see my phone in a second, because I actually have a picture of how everything was plugged in while I was building, so I could see, okay, all this connection went here, that connection went there, or I could see how the order was if a wire was above another wire, and etc. Here's the speaker installation. I'm having a little trouble with the speaker, just because there is a small notch. I think that's for the oh no, this is the personality chip. But during the speaker section, I did have a little bit of trouble because there was a notch that you can kind of see in that speaker grill right in the middle that, was a channel for the cord for the speaker. So I had made sure, okay, see, here's the speaker here. And I wanted it to sit flush while I was doing that. I moved around the camera a lot just because my hands were getting in the way, and so I tried to make sure you guys could see everything. See, so right here, I think I keep moving the camera because of that speaker. I'm trying to get like a good camera angle while trying to, sit that in there. See, and here's me looking at my little schematics there. Because I'm not real savvy on the electrical, so I made sure, whatever I needed to do, I had a diagram that could almost be like a non-mess up. Oh, but trust me, I do mess up, and it's like a no-brainer situation too. So here's me trying to get that head on. There were 3 screws that went there, and it went through, as well as you'll see me kind of rub my hand through the whole kind of build, because there was oil on top of the dome, and that was to grease the spinning section of the dome. Because I showed it in the other footage, but there's a magnet tape and then a connector that like is on top of the dome, or sits on top of the mechanical part of the motor, so that after a certain amount of turns it won't turn anymore, so it doesn't constantly twist that wire. So what I did is I kept sticking my hand in that grease that lubed up that section. See, and I would have saved a lot of time here if I would have looked at my picture another time, just because I ended up putting the speaker cover on the back, putting it upside down, because that little piece that looks like a U actually sits on the back of the speaker, see, and now I'm taking it apart. It sits on the back of the speaker. I don't know why, maybe so the sound doesn't vibrate and like knock it out. So now I have the head, the Bluetooth section, the personality chip in. See, and so now I'm looking at for other parts, because I'm wondering where all these connections go. And I have to make sure to be careful, because something else I've tried to mess with, I actually messed up and I broke one of the pins. The only other, I guess, time I've used these, oh yeah, I almost forgot to put these in. These are little kind of stops for the sides of the legs, so that when you move them, it's a solid clip. But what, like I was saying, is I tried to do the same thing with something else. I ended up messing up the cord, so now I'm like super careful when it comes to stuff like that. The only other things I messed with like this is the Perfect Grade Unicorn LEDs are the same type of connection, so I'm always super careful with these. Great camera angle here. You can really see the foot of my chair. And I want to say that's the end of the footage, but we'll have another piece at the end. So here it is, all put back together. This is from my Instagram, since I kind of left off, or the footage kind of cut out because of my battery. This is all I could record. So as you can see, everything painted, everything put back together. How great that top kind of uncovered dome looks. And then I went to go turn it on, and I found out I did not plug in the power cord. So I ended up taking it all apart again, plugging in the power cord, and then testing him for the final time, and he worked. So now that the body is done, we can focus on the head, we can focus on the legs, and get this project done. So mustache again. If you like the video, make sure you hit me back with a like or a comment. Maybe what other color schemes you'd like to see on some R2s. Like I said, a see-through dome would be cool with a lot of the detail under it. So mustache again. Peace.